here is the MoMarsh Invisiman blind. I've got it all grassed up. I hunted with it all season last year. And here is the back. This is where the party happens. So it has backpack straps, which are fantastic. I really like that it's got backpack straps because you can put it on your back, carry it wherever you need to go. You can tow a sled of decoys behind you while you got your blind on your back. That is a fantastic feature that I really like. A complaint I have is that these bars will definitely rub into your back. So if you're wearing some thick clothing or something, it's probably not going to feel it, but if you're wearing something a little lighter weight, you are going to feel that right smack in the center of your back as you're walking. So keep that in mind and plan accordingly. So to set it up, all you gotta do is unhook these, unhook the legs, and then fold the legs out. Now, this is a really easy process to do when you're on dry ground, but if you're by yourself and you're trying to set this up in knee-deep water out in the middle of the marsh, it can be a little bit tricky. So I've found that if I wanted to set this up in the middle of the marsh, I would actually take my sled of decoys out there, toss out my spread, and then take this off of my back, lay it upside down with the legs facing up on my sled, and then unfold the legs and get that set up. That seemed to be the best way for me to do it. Now, is it easy? No, but you can do it. It is able to be done. But then to set it up the rest of the way, you can unhook that strap that holds the doors closed, and then you open this bad boy up. So what I like to do is grab the back piece here, lift that up, and then slide these little supports in the side there. And you do that on the other side as well. Now, when you're setting this up in the middle of the marsh, be aware that your doors will get wet. Actually, a lot of this blind is gonna get wet when you're setting it up in the middle. But what you can do is if you have two people, it actually makes it really easy to set up, because all you gotta do is have one person hold it and then the other person unclips it and sets out the legs. So that's been the way that, like, if Adam comes with me, that's how we set these up in the marsh. So then you hook on your doors, and your blind is then fully assembled. So there we go. We got the blind fully assembled. The doors are all hooked in, and this is how we like to hunt out of these things. So let's go ahead and take a look at the cockpit and see what it's all about. So here we got the cockpit, and it's actually really comfortable to sit in. The seat's great. This bottom piece, I've never felt like I was unsafe. I mean, my buddy Adam, he was like 275 sitting in this thing, and it held him really well. So the chair does have little straps here that you can unbuckle. And so if you want to get back in there, shove some stuff behind the blind, or get into this rear compartment, you can do that. So it's kind of fully adjustable hammock style seat, so you're able to get it to the comfort level that you like. So there's that. And then on the sides here, this is the part that I was really stoked about, was all of the little pockets on the sides. Here is my complaint. If you are a right-handed shooter, you will not want to use these because you're going to be sitting here, your gun will be across your lap, and the stock of your gun is going to hit these as you're coming out of the blind. So if you keep a full box of shells in here and you keep a cup in this, you're going to come up to shoot and you're going to fight this every single time. So what I ended up doing was I would just throw maybe 5 or 6 shells in this little pocket here. I wouldn't use this, but I would use these on the sides right here for, you can see here I got some hand warmers, I put snacks in there, hearing protection, and whatever else I needed to grab fairly quickly. So that's one of my biggest complaints about this blind, is that these pockets are a nice feature, but if you're a right-handed shooter, you're going to be fighting this all day long if you're using it for what it's supposed to be used for. Now on the back side of the blind here, we have a really cool little pocket, and like you saw, you can access it from the inside as well. So this is great for storing any of your odds and ends. You got an extra jacket, you can keep it in there. You got your blind bag, you can toss it in there. Any of your dead birds, you toss them in there. So what I like to do, kind of my setup that I like to take with me when I'm using these, is I just use my dry bag that I use for all my camera equipment. I just use that as my blind bag. So I throw my calls and my shells in that bag as well, and it fits really well back in here. And I can seal it up so it's completely waterproof. You're able to put a lot of stuff back in here. I've walked in with using this as my blind bag as well, where you can zip this whole compartment closed. So I threw like a pulsator and my calls and shells and everything in here, threw it on my back, and then went into the marsh without a blind bag. So that's an option for you as well. It's got a nice handle back here you can pick up and move things around, and it seems like the zipper is pretty decent quality, but the raffia grass I've got on here kind of gets in the way of the zipper sometimes. But when it's all grassed in, it does blend in extremely well, at least for where I hunt. A lot of dead grass, a lot of tall standing grass in the marsh. I mean, this just kind of disappears in there. So I do have a bit of a complaint about these legs. I wish they were like the Invisilab where you just press and hold it and it slides out, but these are kind of cam locked, and sometimes they can get gummed up and they don't want to extend, but they do extend extremely far. So I mean, if you're hunting waist deep water, this blind will still work for you, but it seems like you kind of have to give it a good twist and then push it up. It's almost kind of like it locks in. Let's try it on this. So like it's unlocked, I'm pulling on it, it's not coming out. So once you twist it, it comes out and fully extends. Something that you're gonna probably end up noticing is if you get this thing buried deep into the mud of the marsh, it will, when you're pulling the blind out to like either move or pick up for the day, the mud will suck these legs down in there, and you're gonna be fighting pulling it up as this is getting pulled down. So that can be a little bit of a pain, but it's really not that big of a deal. Now, one of the things about this blind that I thought was very unique is that, you know, I mean, you can hunt in fairly deep water. You're gonna have a really good hide, but I thought it was just odd that your legs dangled. But after using this blind, it really didn't make that big of a difference having your legs exposed. I mean, if I'm hunting, you know, water that's maybe this deep or so, this part of the blind, when the doors are closed, it kind of covers your legs. So you're using the water for hide, and then you're using this to hide you. And if you don't want your legs to dangle, you can set them up here on this. So like if you're hunting in some deeper water, you got the legs extended, you're still gonna have some support to pull yourself up to shoot. So after a season of using this blind, I would say that it's an awesome blind if you're somebody who likes to hunt a lot of public ground. You got a boat that you run in on and you're looking for a place to hide. These fit great in the boat. They fold flat. You can stick a bunch of them in the boat and you can hide, tuck your boat away, and this is where you're going to be hunting out of. So no need for big boat blinds that flare birds. You can get into that kind of lower cut cover and really hide well. We've used these in the middle of the marsh with very sparse cover, and we've used it in thick cover, and I've used it with the legs fold down flat just as a layout blind on dry ground. So it's very versatile. It seems very well built. I didn't break any pieces on it, and you know, other than a few small details that I can complain about, these blinds have been awesome, and they have their place, and they work really well for what they're designed for. So I really like them. You can sit in these things all day long. You hide really well, and it's just like a layout blind, but you can use it in the water. So if you found this video helpful, make sure to leave me a thumbs up. If you're not subscribed, please make sure to hit that subscribe button because there's tons more content headed your way, and I'll catch you on the next one.